all recorded anyway. We are going to go over these 13 questions. So before I get rocking and rolling, hello, happy Tuesday. Who saw or started to work on the questions from last week? Sweet. Who got the questions from their coach in their inbox to answer? Oh, Shannon, you didn't get any questions? Oh, yeah. Okay. All right. So we're going to go over that today. Fair? Okay. So everybody understands. You will also be able to watch this recording and or the one this morning that I did where I go over everything. So I'm going to share my screen. God knows what you're about to see right now when I share it, because I don't know what the hell's going on. I have Zoom call. I have a million things on my screen. All right. So what I did, guys, can you see my screen? Thumbs up to the camera if you can see my screen, please. Great. All right, so what I did is I actually took these 13 questions and I broke them down for you in a little bit more digestible way. So the big picture here, guys, and part of the reason I have zero idea why my hand is up, part of the reason why we are, like, I want you guys to do this is a super development piece, okay? And really part of the reason why all of you guys are here is because you're looking to make big changes, and everything starts between your ears. So whether you have got to your results and you're working on something else, or you're in the beginning of your journey, this is going to be applicable. These tools will be applicable to you over and over and over and over again. These questions you could use multiple times. You could use them weekly, monthly, whatever, as you're digesting or dissecting things. You can use these in all forms of your life. Obviously, we're presenting this to you around your body, around your health, around your wellness, but you can use this in any area of your life. It's basically an entry point for you to get into between your ears and start to dissect things. Okay? Because remember, our role as coaches is to give you the tools to help you stay accountable to yourself, but we've got to teach you the tools and the skill set to be able to continue on this journey, because there's a really big difference, guys, between change and transformation. And I want to know, is there somebody, please come off of mute, who can give me a description or what is change versus transformation? Does anybody know the difference between the two? Shannon, do you know? She thinks so. She's flipping me off from the screen. And I can't see if anybody is trying to get into this call either. Shit.
Sorry, that's not it.
No. Actually, I'm gonna do something. Terry, are you on your laptop? Terry, are you on your phone or your laptop?
I'm on my phone. Will that work to help you let people in?
I'm gonna make you a co-host.
Okay.
You should be able to, maybe you'll be able to see if people need to get in.
Okay. I'll look.
But while you're off mute, you know the difference, she just went out between
change and transformation. Well, change can be temporary. It's like painting a wall, whereas transformation is knocking down a wall and really like permanent transformation, change. Yeah. It's a change to the next level.
Yeah.
Where it's going to stay that way. Yes.
Yeah, exactly. Right. You explained it perfectly. So, you can, so like Terry said, you can change something by painting a wall. So like if you look at a kitchen, for example, you can change your kitchen by redoing the handles on the cabinets, give it a different look. You could change the lighting, that you could change your countertops, you could paint the cabinets a different color. But if you have a galley kitchen and you want it to be an open concept, you have to now start busting down walls, and that becomes a transformation. It's the same thing. So you, most of you, no, I shouldn't say most of you, everybody's here because you want to transform. So there's a big difference between it. And what we've done in the past is we've made changes. And changes, as Terry said, aren't going to be long lasting, right? They could be, but they're really not. They're just a change. They're a temporary thing. Transformation is something that you're really busting something down and making a huge transformation. So that's kind of the best way to look at it. So what we're doing with these questions is really creating an awareness for you. So you're going to be, as you go through them, the goal is that you're going to create an awareness. Part of the questions are based on awareness. Another part of the questions are related more to reflection. And then the last section is based on action. Okay, creating action. So we're going to kind of go through these. And this is something that is a non-negotiable with me. I want you guys all to go through this, and really, like, you'll be doing yourself a big favor by doing this. So the first question is around awareness, and it's very simple. You guys have seen it before. It's where you are now. But the purpose behind this is to get the facts. Okay. So within the facts lies the truth. A lot of times we lean into feelings. Okay. We feel things like, and that's where we go to first. But you can't really make any big transformations are based around feeling. We know this because we've been doing it our entire lives. So figure out what the facts are. So where am I now? The example of that is giving a very clear, honest description to yourself when you're journaling. Where am I right now? Describe where you are. What does your health look like? What does your fitness look like? What does your mindset look like? Like, what does it look like? Be super clear and honest with yourself. Write it all down. And then, and this is, like I said, as we're looking at it right now, you can do this in any area of your life. That is up to you. That is completely up to you. You can look at this when it comes to relationships. You can look at this when it comes to your kiddos. You can look at this when it comes to your business, your finances, your spiritual connection, whatever it is. Like, if you're stuck someplace, you can utilize this. But as I said, we're going to look at this as your body. So where am I right now? Once you figure that out and you get a real clear conversation with yourself, like, this is where I'm at, and this is good, bad, or indifferent. Like, it depends on where you're at. Ask yourself next, how do I feel about it? How do I feel about where I'm at? The purpose of this is to start to pick up the emotions. Are you frustrated? Are you overwhelmed? Are you motivated to change? Or are you just really happy with where you are? Like, what? Be super honest. Like, really tap into the feeling. This is where I'm at now. This is how I feel about it. And what you're really looking to do is connect to your emotions. Third question. How did you get to where you are? The purpose of this is simple. Now you want to dial in on the facts, but the facts and a focus, starting to focus in. So you got the facts. This is where I fucking am right now. Here's how I feel about it. Now I need to start to focus in, okay, on these facts, like the focusing in and how the hell did I get here? Example, what are the patterns or the actions that contributed to getting you to this state? Again, this isn't necessarily mean, and we'll go more into detail about this, like, you could be happy where you're at, but you still want to, like, understand, where are you at? Ask yourself honest questions. You may not. You might be a little bit frustrated. Maybe you have a goal of doing something and you keep sliding back. That is okay. This is the vulnerability piece of it to help you discover, why do I keep doing this? Why do I keep doing this thing that I don't want to be doing anymore? Because I have this goal. So that's where this is going to come into play. The next question is where you are. The question that you're going to ask is where I am, where you are, where I am working for you. Okay. Are the things that you're doing, your routines, whatever you're doing, are they helping you or are they holding you back? You're trying to evaluate if your current habits are aligned with your goals. So you're asking yourself, is what I'm doing right now, you're establishing this pattern. Are they working for you? Then the last question, 5, which is based on this awareness phase, is why is it working or not working for you? Again, the purpose is to understand the reasons behind your progress or lack thereof, okay? And whatever the goal is, the thing that you are looking to achieve. What's driving your results or what's keeping you stuck? If this makes sense, give me a thumbs up to the dang camera. Awesome. Michelle, you can just push a button. All right, so now when we get to the reflection phase, this is where question 6 comes in. Now we're just trying to clarify your desires and the emotional impact of achieving your goals. So now the next question is another fact-finding mission. What do you want? What do you want? This is, again, another define, like, what is it I want? Get super clear with what you aspire, what you desire, what your goals are. Nothing, don't feel anything is too much. What do you really, 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 really want? Most of you have shared this with me, or Jen at one point in time. You've all shared it with me when you applied for this program. Maybe some of your goals have shifted if you've already hit a certain goal or you've hit that desired result, which could possibly have you in a place of this wishy-washy feeling stuck, which is where I said that this is going to help everybody, whether you're beginning on this journey or you've been on this journey for a while. Sometimes we get stuck after we've gotten to a certain place. Remember, I've talked about this. Every level has a new devil. That's just the way it is. We get to the top, get everything we want. There's new devils that live up there. We got to sort those suckers out. So what is it that you want? Maybe you want a bigger booty. Maybe you want bigger guns. I don't know. Maybe you've, received the results when it comes to the fat loss. You fit into the clothes that you want, but you want something big. Maybe you want to, I don't know. It could be anything. It could be totally anything. You want to do an Iron Woman contest. You want to run a marathon. You want a bigger booty. You want to compete. You want to do a photo shoot. I don't know. Or maybe you simply, like I said, just want bigger glutes, bigger quads. You want to look a certain way. Figure out what it is that you want. If you're just beginning, it might be a very simple goal that you've already shared. Why do you want it? What is the driving emotion behind why you want it, why you desire this? And there's no right or wrong answer. It could be super simple. It could be how achieving this goal is going to, as I wrote here as an example, impact your life or your loved ones. It could be what you might feel is more vain, and nothing is too vain. It might be because I just really want a fucking bigger dump truck to be dragging around. I've always wanted one. Great. That's awesome. There's nothing wrong with this. I want to look a certain way. What is that driving feeling? I want to compete. I want to be in whatever. Like, why do you want it? Why is it so important to you? It could simply be because I want to live to be 103 years old and be able to get off the fucking couch. I don't know. I want to be able to run up the stairs when I'm 70. I don't want to feel like I want to, maybe I want to step into I want to look and feel youthful. Ask yourself what it is. There's nothing right or wrong. It's whatever you really want. And then number 8 is, how would you feel if you got what you wanted? Well, how would you feel? We're coming back to those feelings. How would you feel? What would you really feel? Shannon's smiling. She's like, woohoo! All right. How would you feel if you got what you wanted? Visualize this emotion and the benefits around it. See yourself there. have fun with it. Like, what do I look like? Who am I with? What am I doing? You guys have heard me talk about this in the past. Now I'm putting a little more clarity around it. Visualize what it is you want. Would you feel proud, confident, more at peace? I don't know. There's so many different things. You don't have to continue to use these same words of confident, but like it might just be you feel more peaceful. I don't know. You might feel sexy as hell. I don't know. Whatever it is, like it could be numerous things, but how would you feel if you got what you wanted? Number 9, this one's important. What is in the way of getting what you want? This is where you want to ask yourself questions like, what am I telling myself? Identify the obstacles or the limiting beliefs that you've put in front of your path. There's something there. This is the piece where things are going to start to unveil themselves as long as you are vulnerable. You have to be vulnerable to your own emotions and feelings. What is getting in the way of what you want? Examples. I don't have time. These are very top line, but they could be deeper than this. You have a fear of failing, self-doubt, whatever it is, dig deep into it, figure out what it is. Listen, guys, I'll give you an example. I'm going to pause here for a moment and just kind of give you an example. I've gone through this with many different areas of my life. I'm in a larger program right now where I'm working on a lot of this with other business women, and I'm pulling some of this. It's a lot of it is things that I believe, and obviously you guys are benefiting a little from it because I'm tightening it up and packaging it a little bit differently for you guys. But one of the things that when I went through a similar exercise, and it's top of mind right now because I was just talking to one of my best friends from childhood and I was sharing with her what I discovered, something that I had buried so fucking deep. I had zero idea. I don't have a lot of memories of my childhood. I don't say this for anybody to like feel a certain way. I just don't. I've always wondered, like, what the fuck? I don't remember my childhood very much. And there's very few things I remember. Certain things stick out about it. I didn't have a bad childhood. I just don't remember a whole lot about it. And I have I'm very surprise. My body is not a big issue for me. Okay. And that part of my life, I don't have a big problem with. We have a few road bumps based on, experiences that I've gone through in the past few months, but still, if I look at any area of my life, it's still a strength for me. Wasn't always, but it is now. Very an area of my life where it has been very much an issue, maybe I would say an obstacle is self-worth. I don't feel worthy. Specifically, when it comes, I will use the word financial, but it is much bigger than that. I don't feel worthy of it. And there's a lot of things that I could tell you, like I don't feel worthy because I did grow up with, many of you can identify with this, is it has to be hard, it has to be challenging. Nothing comes easy, money doesn't grow on trees. A lot of you guys have probably heard this growing up. And that is a very limiting belief for a lot of us, and it's a hard one to break. But in this exercise and finding out what was getting in my way and really like answering these questions, I discovered that there was one situation in my life. My mother doesn't play a very strong role in my life. In fact, she never has. And I've kind of omitted her from my life. Again, not part of the story, but important piece to understand because my father was a very strong role model in my life. He no longer is on this earth, but he was a very strong role model, probably one of my best friends as well as my father, and super fucking encouraging for me. Taught me a lot of my strengths. I found out going through this that he's part of the problem when it comes to my self-worth. He taught me that I wasn't worthy. He didn't mean to, but he did. He taught me I wasn't worthy. I literally remembered an exact point in time, right down to I could feel myself sitting on the horse. I knew the pen that I was in. I knew what I was doing. I could see my best friend who I hadn't seen. And for like, I remember the conversation. I can tell you the woman's name that was um, working with us. I know the summer camp that I was at. I can see the woman's face with great detail. I was 17 years old, maybe 16. I was somewhere between, let me say, I was between the age of 15 and 17. And I was very competitive in the horse world. I grew up with horses. I started later in life. I had a lot of fun with them. I trail rode, I barrel raced, I did all kinds of crazy things. Then around 15 or 16, I got into being very competitive. I grew up on a horse farm. We had over 30 horses. We were not lacking financially. We weren't rich by any means, but my parents could financially afford. We had 30 horses, for God's sakes. But my dad was very big in that I needed to learn things from the ground up. So I had 3 different horses that were ideally mine. One I raced barrels with, one was a pleasure horse, and one I had just gotten that was going to be a hunt. None of them were what you would call in the world of, and I was very competitive. Like I was in a higher competitive, I had started competing at a very high level, going to like what would be called, if anybody's in the quarter horse world, you would know, like it's called the Congress. And then there's the World Show, which would be very much like in bodybuilding, like a pro show. And then like Olympia would be like compare, like the Olympia would be comparison to like the World Show. This was like the level I was competing at, an amateur level at that. And he wouldn't give me what was called, what was called a push button horse, because he felt that that would be doing me a disservice, and that I needed to ride a horse and learn to break and train it myself. The problem was, I heard, "You're not worthy." I heard, "I don't trust you. I don't trust that if I put you on a horse like that you won't take advantage of the situation and not grow up to be the child that you need to be." I distinctly remember this now. I remember sitting on the fucking horse thinking this. Well, I was watching my best friends go around. He doesn't trust me. He doesn't think that I'm going to learn on this animal. He doesn't believe that I'm as worthy as these other kids. I knew I was capable of handling it. I knew that I wasn't going to be a spoiled brat. I knew that I was a good kid. I knew he brought me up well. And I was nothing but frustrated during this time. All these feelings were coming up. And literally, after doing this exercise, I went, Jesus fuck, holy shit. This is where all this comes from. All the time I was blaming my poor goddamn mother for it. Well, she has a big part of it. I'm like, oh my God, my dad had the hugest, biggest part of this. So I'm not going to give you the whole story, but this is an example of, if you lean into this, guys, you will unearth some shit that will change the trajectory of your freaking life. Okay. And I'm talking about a different scenario. Okay. Like I'm talking about what I did with where I'm at. But if you do this, like in your health and wellness right now, if you're stuck and you don't know why, Terry, if you don't know why you like to go out and socialize when you know damn well, like, I don't really want to, I have a goal that I want to hit. Why the fuck do I keep doing this? Why can't I make this change? This is going to help you find those answers if it's what you really want. Same thing with, oh goodness, the other Shannon we have in here, I believe. I don't know where she went.
I don't know either, but I don't see anybody coming in either to help with that. So
Okay,
Sylvia showed up though on her own.
I
So
see.
I don't know. Yeah.
Oh, I added her in. So I don't know, but anyway, people are leaving on me. They don't like this. Uncomfortable. Anyway, hopefully this helps you. Like if you're in a place of not understanding, this will help you unearth some of this stuff. So my purpose in telling you this story is so you understand, like, one, we all have things and shit in our life, and two, this is how it's going to help you work through it. So Number 10, as I unpause from my story, number 10 is what would be required for you to overcome this obstacle. And the purpose behind that, once you figure out what the obstacle is, the limiting belief, and it may not be, guys, as big as mine. Okay, it might be smaller. You might be like, holy shit, oh my god, that's what it, like, whatever it is. But once you, it could be more than one thing. It could be one of these three things, I don't know. But like, give yourself the time and the space to identify it. Once you figure out what it is, now you got to figure out, how do I overcome this obstacle? Brainstorm your solutions. What is necessary for you to take action on? Do you need to be better at time management? Do you need more support? Do you need a mindset shift? Do you, what is it? What is going to be required of you to overcome the obstacle, to turn the obstacle into an opportunity? Do you guys see how this can not just apply to your body, but all aspects of your life? Give me a thumbs up to the camera if you can see that. Yeah. You can use this with anything. You have a relationship, whether it's with your family or anything, like, you could use this to start unpacking shit. So now the third phase, starting with question 11, is the action phase. This is designed to help you create a very clear action plan, guys. Like, what is it I need to do to establish accountability? We're here to support you, but you guys have to figure a lot of this shit out on yourself so we can do a better job of supporting you. What do you know must be done first? Identify that very crucial first step that you might take. This could be hard. This could be painful. This could be uncomfortable. What is that first step that you need to take? It could be super simple too. It could be, well, I need to start planning my meals out better. This, and again, I'm speaking to nutrition. I need to set a better schedule. I need to start blocking out time for self-care. Could be that simple, or it could be bigger. A lot of times it's these simple things that we're falling short on. Number 12 is, how do I measure this action? We've talked about this in the beginning of the journey when we talked about creating SMART goals and stretch goals, as well as non-negotiables. Like, when we talk about SMART goals, one of the things in SMART goals is it's got to be measurable, right? So what is that measurable action? How are you going to, once you have figured out what it is that you need to do, you've identified this first step, how are you going to measure it? Now, here's the beautiful thing. Most of the measurable tools, guess what, guys? You have available to you. They're in the app. We give them all to you. So the question might be, am I using these? Because you have the ability to track a lot of shit daily. You have a schedule. You have tasks. You have habits. You have accountability. You have everything in here. The app actually gives you several ways to measure your actions. So the biggest question is, am I using it? I'm going to give you an example. This is being recorded, so this is, everybody can hear it. Most of those of you that are here show up relentlessly. But there are people that check off the task conversations with Jules who have never shown up to a fucking call. You are now taking something that we are giving you to measure and saying, I did it. But you're lying to yourself, not to us, to yourself. The truth lies in the facts. You have to get super freaking honest with yourself. I'm not saying you're doing wrong, but like, and I'm just using that as an example. Are you checking off tasks, saying I did it and I didn't? Terry's smiling. Are you going through an exercise and not completing the exercises? Like, that's, you see where we're giving you these tools to hold yourself accountable. But if you're, and in essence, lying to yourself, it's not to us, it's to you, about things, actionable items, So look at it that way too. Like, what is in front of me? Am I actually taking action on this, or am I? I'm not saying it's right or wrong. I want you to zoom out and look at it. Does that make sense? Fair enough? Thumbs up to the camera if that's fair enough. Okay, moving on. If you need help, we can build other trackers into the app. We don't load you guys with shit tons of stuff because we don't want you to be overwhelmed. But we can actually create habits if you ask us to. There are habits in here that we don't attach to you. For example, if you wanted to start a morning routine and meditate, I'm not saying to meditate, I'm just using this as an example because it's in there. If you wanted to have a habit to track and be able to check off the box because you're going to start meditating every morning, we can add it to your, we can add it. If you need to force yourself, you want to be able to check the box that you went and walked outside for 30, 40, 20, 50, and I don't care what it is, we can add that. We can pretty much add any possible habit you want. Many of them are in there. We can actually create it if it's not. So all you have to do is ask us. We can create most anything that you need in the app, so you really wouldn't have to go outside of it. Now, could you? Sure. But you don't have to. We can create most anything in there as a measurable item for the most part. Now, 13 is a very important question. This is the one that once you figure all this out, you have to ask yourself, when will it be done? And I challenge you, if you say tomorrow, Monday, that you pump the brakes and you ask yourself, why not right now? Because there's always going to be Monday. There's always going to be Tuesday. So when is it going to be done? And the purpose of this is you pick a specific time and you stay committed to it. So if you say tomorrow, then it's tomorrow. And my thought would be that you find a way to hold yourself accountable to that, which we're going to talk about in a minute. So you need to set a time of when you're going to do this. Tools that will help you. We talked about this already. Weekly reflection journal. You could use something like this just to guide your thoughts and intentions. I'm trying to find a way of creating something like this for you guys. I haven't come up to a solution yet, but you can do that. Accountability partner. Now you have accountability in this program, so you could create accountability just by posting and being vulnerable in the community. You know that there's nobody in here that's going to pass judgment, and vulnerability is huge. I'm just going to tell you, I'm in a group with many, many women. Some of them are way more, actually, I don't want to use powerful than I am. I'm pretty fucking powerful, but they are in a way different part of their life. And I'm posting very vulnerable stuff out there. And here's the reward that I'm getting back. Some of these women that are in bigger, strong, different places of their life, let's put, than I am right now, that I would look to as like, holy shit, are coming in and making comments on things that I'm posting that they can relate to. And also giving guidance and support. That's the same thing that you have here in this tribe. There's nobody that's going to do anything to, like, so there's power and vulnerability. Power in it. Or, so you have that choice. You can choose to share with your coach. You can choose to share with me. You can choose to share with me and your coach. You can choose, you can even, like I said on this morning's call, if you want to have a specific accountability partner in front of it, you want us to connect you with somebody in the app, we can totally do that too. But I highly recommend that you use some type of accountability leaning, well, there it's leaning into the tribe. I would start with these 13 questions where you for sure have to share them with your coach. You can share them with me, you can share them also in the community. There's power in that. Imagine if all of you shared this, what you would learn from each other. Imagine. There would be power in that. Yeah, what are some of the things you might learn if you all shared? Feel free to come off of mute. Need help, Shannon? Oh, not yet. Here, let me try it again. Did you find the button?
I dumbass hit the
There you
wrong.
go.
Oh, thank you. I hit the wrong side. I was just thinking that we would realize that we're pretty much, all going through the same type thing at one time or another.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
And we can help each other through it.
yeah, absolutely. Lots of good stuff could come out of it. So, looking for ways, to find that accountability and that support, because the accountability piece, guys, and we are here, we as your coaches, me and, Jen, we're here to support you. Even, the other support coaches that you see show up in the group, like Sandy plays a role as, basically we call her like in an ambassador role. Lisa's been stepping up, Lisa DeHurst, into more of an ambassador role and a support role as well. She's also going through her own little shift and change right now as she transfers to Kuwait. But, she too, like there's people in here that you can share and are here to help, and we're here to help support you and to keep you accountable, but also leaning into this tribe for that accountability. So there's more there. Like, don't isolate yourself. If you feel alone, you've done that to yourself. There's no reason to be alone in this tribe, ever. If you agree, put a hand to the camera. Awesome. All right. And I already talked about a habit tracker. We can actually create a habit tracker for you. So if you need that, we can totally do that. So I posted this in the tribe. It is the document that is underneath the like the thing that says the Zoom call is available. I'm going to lower my hand now. So grab that. So I need everybody to do this. Everybody. I need everybody to do this. We are going to be looking for this from each and every one of you. Where you decide to share this is completely up to you. Again, I'm encouraging you to be, the more vulnerable you are, the better, but you don't have to. I can't force you to do anything, but I can tell you I need you to share it with myself or your coach or both of us at least. Okay, because this is what's going to help us. We are here to help support you and get you to the next place, but we need you to work with us. And the reason why I'm doing this is a lot of times I will say we, but I can say specifically, she's not on here. I said it live on this morning's call. A lot of times Jen takes on a lot of responsibility and feelings. It's easy to do as a coach, specifically if you're new to that role. And it's a lot of taking on that energy and a lot of those feelings about where you guys are at and going, right? And what I tell her is where I'm going with this is, like, I tell her, you are a tool, you are here to guide them. You can lead them to water, but you can't force them to drink. That is the reality of it, right? And this is a way, and you're going to see these questions are not going to be, we're giving these to you as tools, but do not be surprised when you start to come to us with something that you start hearing these questions over. Because this is the process that's going to be used, because we could tell you how to fix it, but is that going to do you any good? Not at all. We're here to coach you, to help you see what it is that's holding you back and give you the support. So right now, I just vomited on you all of the questions so you can keep this as a tool and use it over and over and over again in your lifetime. but also know that it's a tool that's been given to the coaches to use with you. And if you've worked with me before, or you've been in any conversation, you've heard these questions before. I've been doing this for a while. This is how I talk to you, right? You never get an answer from me. Like, you may come asking for a solution, but I usually pepper you with questions and try to get you to see the results. That's why. But this is a way for you to have the self-discovery on your own and have a deeper, more, I don't want to say meaningful, but a deeper conversation with yourself, because you're going to go a lot deeper with it than you would just having a brief conversation with me. And then once we understand it, then as coaches, we can help you go deeper. Questions, concerns, thoughts? Excited? Scared? Sylvia, hi.
Hi, I'm in the car.
That's all right. I was just saying hi.
Hello.
Hello.
And to answer your question, probably more scared than anything.
And listen, I get it, Sylvia. I totally get it. It's scary. Like, it's scary for me when I do it. And it should be scary because, like, think about it. Holy shit, what could I possibly unravel here? I unraveled some pretty scary shit. I had to sit with that for a minute. I was like, damn, shit. It wasn't all the Wicked Witch's fault. Damn it. It's so much easier to blame her. Hello, Alyssa. We are at the tail end, but you can watch the recording. Okay? And I highly recommend that you do, because there's homework involved, and it is going to be so helpful to where you are. Actually, you know what I'm going to do? Nobody has to do it really big, but who wants to give Alyssa a quick rundown of what we just talked about? Shannon, are you trying to do it and unmute again? Or Terry? You can both do it. You can, like, tag team.
I was thinking Terry, she's good at explaining stuff.
All right, there you go.
But yeah, I mean, I can help if she wants. I can help if she'd like.
Oh, okay. No, she was going over, I don't know if you saw the questions, the 13 questions that she had posted in the app. So there's 13 questions asking yourself, like, where are you now is number one. How do I feel about where I am now is number two. And you have to honestly answer these questions, and it really opens your eyes on, like, where you are in this journey and where you're stuck maybe, or what you need to do to push through, what you need help with. It's a lot,
And
but it's good.
kind of self-reflection questions, is that in the newbies? Because I'm not in the other groups yet.
Jen probably
I'm not
shared
sure.
with you. Did she?
Oh, your coach did, Jen.
Yeah, she would have, like, sent you the 13 questions, and if she didn't, so they could, one, either be in your community, or she will send them to you.
Okay, yeah, I don't think I got them yet. Okay, I'll take a
get them. Yep. And I don't know that I posted them. I will post them in the newbies. I posted it this morning
Okay,
in the baddies group, but I'll post it. I didn't want to, like, confuse you guys.
okay.
You both were going to be on today's call, and you were here, and then Shannon was here and left, so I will post it in there. Okay.
Yeah, there's
But
two of us.
the recording will be posted, as well as the questions. Okay.
Okay, perfect.
But it's super important.
Okay.
Gonna help you guys that are new really a lot. Don't you guys think? Imagine if you'd had this in the beginning. I'm just getting better at this shit. That's all. I'm learning to, like, really smash it together. Here comes
It's good though. It all happens in time, because it would have been overwhelming, I think. for me. I kind of liked how I was eased into all this. So I thought everything happens when it's supposed to.
That's
I
right.
think that's true, Terry, because I like the first week, Jen was like, quit fucking around. You've only got a limited amount of time. And I was like, I'm just trying to get like to start 20 things new and 20 new habits in 1 week, right? I was not going to be successful. So like every week I can say I'm getting better at certain things. Now I've established that. Now I'm adding something new. So
Mhm.
I definitely
Yep.
feel
Yeah,
starting to
it's
catch on.
good. You just kind of ease in and
Improve. Yeah.
And it's a learning process for us, to be honest with you guys. We're actually zooming out of the onboarding process. It's funny that you said that, Alyssa, and looking at spreading it out longer even than we have. Like I just mapped it out and I was like, oh fuck, I got a lot of shit happen in that first week. Maybe we need to like spread this shit out a little bit more. So like we hear your feedback on this, but this tool is definitely going to be like one of the first things that everybody goes through. And you'll
Yeah.
see, Alyssa, like, and you and Shannon, so I want you two to share back and forth in the newbie community,
Yeah.
like what you get out of it, because we'll be able to see based on what you guys get out of it, like what you share with your coach, what you share with me, what you share in the community,
Mhm.
with each other, like how well this affects you. And again, those of you guys in the baddies group too, like even where you're at, because it might be something that we need to reinstill as a tool, like at certain points
Mm-hmm.
throughout your journey to keep pulling you guys in and getting you, because one of the things that we talked about, Alyssa, is also, and Sylvia, you joined late as well, is like every level's a new devil.
Mm-hmm.
These questions are never going to leave you.
Yeah.
These are tools, these questions you can implement in every aspect of your life. We are obviously currently putting them around body, but they can be implemented in any aspect of your life and even in your body. It can be done over and over and over and over again because every level has a new devil.
Yep.
So even the women like Michelle, Sylvia, Terry, Shannon, you guys have been here for a while. It's still, and Shannon, Terry and Shannon, you guys have been here and like the longest. Michelle's been here probably, like as you guys go, like you will be able to use this even at different times in your journey. Like, and like this morning's call, we talked about it. There's people that hit their goals, but this becomes applicable because you get stuck when you hit your goals. You become compliant or what's the word I'm looking for? Not
Complacent.
complacent. You become complacent and you're literally, you don't know why, because you're like, well, I want more, but what do I want? I think I'm happy, but I'm not.
It seems like a simple question, but it's not.
No. Uh-uh.
and in the beginning, I mean, you did do the vision board with us, and that was in pictures, a lot of these questions, like what are my goals? And
Mhm.
I don't know if you're going to be updating those, but I'll have to update mine to 2025.
Yeah, well, we'll do it again in
And
2020.
some I've been able to check off, so that was really nice. And then I have new goals, and yeah.
This is all part of it. Like the vision board
Mm-hmm.
is still something, but it's just utilizing these tools. Of course, vision boards are huge, but this is just this is actually a deeper dive than even a vision board. This is
Yep.
a really deep dive into our emotions. And I did record this one, and then I shared something on this morning's call, but I took a much deeper dive into how these questions affected me in a very different way. So I talked about something on this call, which I am recording. I hope. Yes, it says recording. Thank God. I am recording that you guys can tune in. So I will post both of them, the morning call and this one. I'm going to actually stop recording it right now because